Well, if you're wondering why Mikey is wearing part of a...
I took it off.
If you're wondering why Mikey is wearing half of a wetsuit, you're going to see why at the end of this video. Stick with us. This video is about a Black Friday special on the Mauri's Smart Pro, not the Smart Air. It's the Smart Pro. I got it right that time.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, all right. And what we've done is we put out here the Mauri's Puck Pro Plus for size comparison, and also the Quad. Now, the Quad also has a model called the Quad Air. I'm going to put links down below in the description section for the Mauri's Smart Pro, and the other two, let's call them, are also going to be in the description down there. Now, one of the things that we did is we took a look at the benefits of the Smart, and we're going to talk to you about those a little bit. It's not going to be really a computer review, but you're going to see why this is such a good deal on this Black Friday special. There's some things like performance. Kind of hard to beat the performance of this, right?
That's true.
Yeah. A lot of
Especially at that
features,
price, right?
especially at this price. Now, one of the things is the ascent rate.
All your computers have ascent rate alarms, but this one has that feature as well as a feature that activates if you're going up way too fast. And there's a good explanation of it in the user's manual.
All of these computers are Nitrox compatible, and one of the alarms is that CNS alarm, right?
Those of you that have taken the Nitrox course know about oxygen toxicity, and this alarm relates directly to that.
You know, you're able to set your PPO2, your fraction of oxygen, all those things as far as nitrox goes. If you haven't taken your nitrox course, I'm going to get on my soapbox here. It's one of those courses that I believe, and I think Mike would echo me here, I would say is probably one of the most important courses a new open water diver, an advanced diver, an old diver, especially an older diver. We've also got some other things like low battery, and one of the unique things about this computer is, isn't it user replaceable?
Yes, it is. There's actually in the manual a complete diagram of how to replace the battery.
I'll give you a little hint. When you take responsibility for changing your battery, it's on you. Now, Diver Supply provides that service. You can bring it in. It's a very inexpensive service. We put a new O-ring in normally, we lube up the seal, and of course then that battery changes on us. So there's some major advantages to being able to have somebody like Diver Supply help you out with
Right.
battery change. Doesn't mean, now some of the computers before, you actually had to send it back to the manufacturer to get that battery changed. What a hassle that is. Battery life, I think they said, was about 2 years, 2.5 years.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Something like that. You can do multiple gas setups with this.
Yeah, if you're doing a decompression dive and you're using a mix that's like an advanced nitrox, you can set this to do that and it'll handle all of that.
Now, it's not necessarily meant as a tech computer.
Correct.
But if you happen to go into DECO, or if you happen to pass, normally it's 100 feet, then it will tell you to make what they call a deep stop. And the deep stop is usually half of the depth of maybe where you were. So if you're at 100 or 110, it'll tell you to stop at 50 for a minute before you go on up to your safety stop at 15 feet for normally 3 minutes.
Right.
3 to 5 minutes, depending. Hopefully you're being smart See how I related that to the computer? You're being smart about your air consumption and watching your air so that you can do those stops as you come up. On this unit was the PC link. It's
Right.
not Bluetooth.
No, it's not. It's an actual, what I would call a serial interface, and it can hook into your phone or your computer. So a lot of times, if you have a USB that can modify it, you can dump it into your phone. And the software from Maris, you just go to their site and download it to either your Apple or your Android device or your PC. You should be fine.
Yeah. Now, one of the things that as course directors, instructor trainers, that sort of thing, that Mike and I see a lot of times is people buy a dive computer. They rely on that dive computer to upload those dives into their computer.
Right.
But in reality, we don't see complete information on a dive when it goes from the computer into the base computer,
Yeah,
I
you
would
just
call
get
it.
numbers.
Yeah, yeah. So Mike and I tend to push forward the idea of always back up your dive computer with your dive log.
Absolutely.
That way you've got all your temperatures, if you made any weight adjustments, how thick a wetsuit you used, what type of water, that sort of thing in your dive log, because many people go on a trip, they say, I'll download it later, and they just don't do it.
Well, and here's the other thing. If you have designs about moving further in your dive experiences, some of the dives that you do, people are going to want to see them recorded, and if it gets past 100, you won't have them in your computer.
Yeah.
So it's a good idea to keep that.
Now, this computer, the Smart, will do scuba, it'll do free dive, and it will do gauge mode.
Right.
So it can cover many of the bases for you folks out there. And if you're wondering why Mike is kind of wearing a wetsuit, it's so that he can show you how the strap that comes on the Smart will fit over this 5mm wetsuit. So I'm going to get him to put that on, and let's take a look at it. All right, so Mike's got it on. This is a 5mm wetsuit, and this is one of those nice wetsuits that's got this holder loop on the side. Many of us have put dive computers on our wetsuits, and the next thing you know, it slides way down here next to your wrist, or it starts turning around because it's gone from a thicker area to a thinner area. But this actually looks like it fits pretty good. Mike's got an average size wrist, and he's still got a couple of slots left over here for his adjustment. So that works out pretty good. Like I said, on a 5mm, so 3mm you'd have more, 7 I think you'd be right at the end. One thing I do want to point out, some of the newer dive computers have a vibration alarm. The Smart does not have a vibration alarm, but with all these advantages and the price point of this computer, it is a very smart choice for Black Friday. I'm Bob Collins.
Mike.
That's Mike for Diver Supply. As we always say, dive safe out there. Happy holidays.